Students, how are you? Our next topic is glands. In that, few more glands are pending. One is pineal gland and thymus gland. Thymus glands already we discussed only functions. More discuss about structure. Now you can discuss about pineal gland. The pineal gland, it is present in the brain only, just above the cerebellum, and it is attached to the thalamus. So thalamus stalk, this is thalamus stalk attached to the thalamus, and it is present posterior to the hypothalamus, and just below the cerebral cortex. This is a location of the pineal gland. So the pineal gland rests between the two superior colliculi, and it is attached to the base stalk of the posterior dorsal thalamus. So it is mainly to secrete the melatonin. That melatonin is to maintain the circadian rhythm. We can discuss about what is the circadian rhythm. The pineal gland is easily identified on skull because of it is a calcified. When it is calcified, it is actually X-ray. It is come to the radiological findings. We can skip it now. See. The pineal gland have the pinealocytes synthesize the hormone is melatonin, which is derived from the molecules of neurotransmitter serotonin. So these melatonin coming from the serotonin is a 5-hydroxytryptamine that is coming from the tyrosine also we can call it as a 5-hydroxytryptamine. So from the serotonin you can get the melatonin. So it is synthesized in the synaptic nerves. Fine. So the after synthesizing, it is synthesized, or it is also synthesized in the pinealocytes, and in the pineal gland have the cells that we can call as pinealocytes. The pinealocytes synthesize the hormone melatonin. So the melatonin shows the maturation of sperm, slows the maturation of sperm oocytes and reproductive organs by inhibiting the production of hypothalamic releasing factor that stimulate the follicle stimulating hormone luteinizing secretion. So melatonin inhibit the maturation, not to synthesize, maturation by through the inhibiting the. So how it is inhibiting? Through the production of hypothalamic releasing factor that stimulate the follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing section. So our hormone ni releasing ఏదైతే releasing factor ఉందో దాన్ని ఇన్హిబిట్ చేయడం వలన ఈ మెచ్యురేషన్ ఆఫ్ స్పెర్మ్ అను యూసైట్ అనేది జరగదు. ఫైన్. ద correlates from the visual pathways enter the pineal gland and affect the rate of melatonin production. Fine. So melatonin production rise at night. So the maximum amount of melatonin when it is released in night time and decline during the day. The cycle is apparently important in regulating circadian rhythm means step by circulation, one cycle and another cycle. So that is a cycle, circadian rhythm. So our natural awake asleep cycles. So if the melatonin released automatically, you can get the sleep. If the melatonin released properly, automatically we can wake up. So నీకు కొన్ని నీకు ఎప్పుడైతే నిద్ర వస్తుందంటే ఇట్ ఈస్ బికాస్ ఆఫ్ మెలటోనిన్ రిలీజ్. నీకు తెల్లవారుజామున నీకు మెలకుమ అవుతుందంటే డ్యూ టు బికాస్ ఆఫ్ మెలటోనిన్. సో దట్ ఈస్ వీ కెన్ కాల్ యాజ్ ద సర్కాడియన్ రిథమ్. అండ్ ఆల్సో నీకు నువ్వు వెళ్తూ ఉంటే నీకు ఒక హ్యాబిచువేట్స్ అన్ని కొన్ని అలవాట్స్ ఉంటాయి. ఆటోమేటిక్గా గుర్తు చేసేది ఇట్ ఈస్ మెలటోనిన్. సర్కాడియన్ రిథమ్ అంటే మన డైలీ లైఫ్లో చేసేటువంటివి ఏవైతే కొన్ని ఉన్నాయో అది ఇమీడియట్గా నీకు రిమెంబర్ చేసేది ఏంటంటే దట్ మెలటోనిన్. సో ద హార్మోన్ ఈజ్ ఆల్సో పవర్ఫుల్ యాంటీ ఆక్సిడెంట్. సో యాంటీ ఆక్సిడెంట్ అంటే ఏంటి ఇక్కడ, టు రిమూవ్ ది ఆక్సిడేటివ్ స్పీసెస్. సో ఆక్సిడేటివ్ స్పీసెస్ ఆర్ ఫ్రీ radicals, that free radicals bind to the any protein that it will damage and interrupted through the functions of the any system. So here any in the brain, if you have any free radicals or oxidative species, so this hormone it will bind and neutralize it. So that's why it is a antioxidant. So that may help to protect the CNS tissues from the toxins generated by the active neurons and glial cells. అంటే డ్యూరింగ్ ది అంటే ఈ న్యూరాన్స్ నుంచి ఎప్పుడైనా టిష్యూస్ నుంచి రిలీజ్ అయినటువంటి ఆ టాక్సిన్స్ నథింగ్ బట్ ఫ్రీ రాడికల్స్ ఆక్సిడేటివ్ స్పీసెస్ దాన్ని న్యూట్రలైజ్ చేస్తుంది ఇది మెలటోనిన్. సో దీస్ ఆర్ ది ఫంక్షన్స్ ఆఫ్ ది pineal gland. Next we can discuss about thymus gland. So already last video class we can discuss thymus gland. Last video class we discussed, but the structure we can discuss over. So the thymus gland consists of two lobes joined by areolar tissue. The lobes are enclosed by fibrous capsule which dips into their substances. So whatever the two lobes, it is made up of areolar tissue. It is joined by areolar tissue. The two lobes, thymus gland have the two lobes that are joined by areolar tissue. These entire lobes and areolar tissue are present in fibrous capsule. The lobules consist of irregular branching of framework of epithelial cells and lymphocytes. So in that lobule it is made up of epithelial cells and lymphocytes. The function is the lymphocytes originate from the stem cells. Everybody you know the lymphocytes are produced in the bone marrow, red bone marrow. Then these lymphocytes enter into the thymus gland and their mature or developed. The lymphocytes produced in the bone marrow, after that they are reached into the thymus gland through the blood. In the thymus gland they are matured or developed or activated. So how they are activated? The thymus gland releases the thymosin. When this thymosin act on the lymphocytes, the lymphocytes are activated. So then after that the thymus gland produces the matured T lymphocytes. Then the T lymphocytes then leave the thymus and enter the blood. So that is about thymus gland. Okay, next a small topic pending in urinary system, that is renin angiotensin system. Renin angiotensin system, as simply we can call it as renin is a hormone or enzyme. Why it is called hormone? The substance it is directly released into the bloodstream, that's why it is called hormone, and it acts as the enzyme, that's why. So released from the juxtaglomerular cells of nephron. So that's renin, when it is released into the bloodstream, it converts the angiotensinogen to angiotensin 1, angiotensinogen to angiotensin 1. So these angiotensinogen present in bloodstream. So when the renin enter into the bloodstream, then automatically the angiotensinogen is converted to angiotensin 1. The angiotensin 1 is converted to angiotensin 2 in the presence of angiotensin converting enzyme angiotensin not angiotensinogen, angiotensin converting enzyme to angiotensin 2. These angiotensin converting enzymes secreted from the liver and enter into the bloodstream. So these angiotensin 2 function is the first function is vasoconstriction. The first function is vasoconstriction, and second function is release of aldosterone. Then aldosterone, what is the function? So to increases the sodium levels and water levels in the blood. Increases the sodium levels and water levels, and nothing but reabsorption of sodium water in especially collecting ducts and distal convoluted tubules. The aldosterone act on the distal convoluted tubules and collecting ducts and reabsorption of sodium and water. Then when the sodium levels and the water levels increase in the blood volume increases. When the blood volume increases, blood pressure increases. So this is renin-angiotensin system. So these renin-angiotensin, when it is released the renin, when the blood pressure decreased, renin hormone or enzyme, it is released from the juxtaglomerular cells of the nephron. Juxtaglomerular cells present in the glomerulus. You know the nephron structure, glomerulus, proximal convoluted tubule, loop of canal, distal convoluted tubules, correct. So in the glomerulus have the juxtaglomerular cells. So from the juxtaglomerular cells, renin released. This is the renin-angiotensin system.